Open your mouth. Spread your legs. Clear. Let's go.
What up? You already know it is your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. I want to, first and foremost, we got Big Bootsie in the building. Big Bootsie been doing a lot of great things. He did some time in jail, came home, never looked back. Y'all probably know him a lot from doing, coming out of movies and all that. One of our favorite ones, Paid in Full. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I want to introduce, Big Boosie into Dog in the Yard. You already know your boy Pistol Pete. And this right here is not nothing that you could be, be disgusted by. Dogs, bird shit is not like dog shit or our shit. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people's like, damn, but what the fuck he's touching? You clean it right off like that. Shit don't disgust you, man. All right? And with that being said, you already know your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. What up? You already know it's your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. Today we got Big Bootsie in the building. Straight out of Harlem.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
What's up, St. Nicholas? What's up, P? How you, man?
I'm good, brother. How you, man?
It's a pleasure, man. And like I said, man, it's a pleasure meeting you. Big fan of what you were standing for in them DVDs back in the day. And been watching and I pay attention, man, all the way up to now, what you're doing now, man. I want to give you flowers now.
Appreciate you, man.
Nah, not a problem.
Thank you so much, man.
No doubt. Appreciate you.
I mean, for those that know Pistol, man, I was out there, them DVD back in the days. You could, smack DVDs, all them DVDs, where everybody was at.
Facts.
Everybody that's up right now. A lot of these people that was on them same DVDs with me right now, they big now.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
the Beasley.
Facts, right?
Yes,
so with that being said, everybody done moved up. So that means we was working and it took us somewhere.
That's a fact.
So that's just living proof that you could continue. For anybody out there, any young brothers out there and all that want to give up on shit, nah, just don't give up. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, with that being said, man, Boost, what's up, man? How you been, man?
I'm chilling, man. Staying, working. Moving around these streets, up and down the highway, pushing for that positive movement now.
Absolutely.
The young boys is going crazy out here.
That's right.
So I appreciate you guys hitting me up and giving me a chance to speak on your platform.
Absolutely. So, Boost, tell us a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, as far as where you from. I know you from Harlem, but your upbringing as far as your siblings and mom, dad, when you started getting, when you got in trouble. And
okay, well, 141st between 7th and Lenox is where it all started from. And, my mom's, and that block was a wild block, so my mom's wanted to move from there. And my mother and father, they was together since they was 12 years old. Wow. So they come from a little town, Lawrenceburg, North Carolina, moved up here for a better way. When she graduated, she wanted better things, so her and my father moved up here. And the block was wild, so she found the spot on 146 St. Nicholas Avenue. 723 is the building that I grew up in. Same building, AZ, who wrote the Paid in Full movie, that whole saga.
Okay.
Again, so we moved up there. And as a young boy, I used to watch my mom's work at banks. And she worked at Chemical Bank, another bank called Indezawez.
Okay.
I tell this story a lot because it's important that people that didn't grow up with both parents in the house understand, I feel their pain. Some of them made it out, some of them didn't. I was fortunate enough to have both, but moms and them didn't play that.
Right.
Get that butt whooped, you know what I'm saying, when you don't do right. So I had two brothers. One was younger. My brother is double A. They call him Shine Boy Double out here, and my brother Ann. And, I wanted to keep up with the Joneses and started being out there in the mean streets. I did good in school, but I try to keep up with the Joneses. When I got to be in the house early, I sneak back out the house when they sleep just to be around the homies. And a lot of my homies that didn't get in trouble were still out there running around doing whatever they did.
Right.
I'm saying that to say they eventually end up getting on drugs or getting locked up, catching bids and all that. And I was fortunate enough not to really catch a bid at a early age like they did.
Right.
So as that moved along, you know, my friend AZ who I just spoke about, you know, he used to sit on the stoop, real quiet dude, as you seen in the Paid in Full movie. He was like a regular dude working in the cleaners and all that. And, you know, he was cool, like a big brother to everybody. So I used to hang out with him in the cleaners, and I'd always used to tell him, I want to make me some money. I was 10 years old. And he used to be like, all right, I ain't got nothing for you to do right now. But I used to watch him deliver the clothes.
Right.
They showed in the Paid in Full movie.
Right.
So him, just a good, generous dude.
Yeah.
He used to like let me deliver the clothes to some of the houses, to some of the apartments and all that, and then he would pay me for doing so. And you know, that kind of started my journey right there with the, the ignite the fuel to wanting to have some money by watching my mother go out and work. My father worked odd jobs to hold it down with my mother.
Right.
But he didn't have a diploma like she did. But he always was there. So
Right.
always gonna give my father props on that.
Absolutely.
So that started me with my street journey, but wanting to get money as well.
I got you. So in them, at what age you start getting into trouble? I mean,
All right, so as things prospered, you know, started getting in middle school, junior high school, went to Stitt Junior High School on Uptown 100 and what street Stitt was on? 160th and Edgecombe, 164th and Edgecombe. Okay. And so I started noticing AZ doing little stuff around the cleaners. You know what I'm saying? Passing little bottles here and there. Somebody might want a half a bottle, he poured in the bill.
Yeah.
Charge him $10 and hold the other half just in case somebody else want 10. So I'm asking him, what's that? He would never really tell me. And he never really wanted me to indulge in that.
Right.
But as I go, going to school, was a bunch of Spanish dudes that was in there too that was friend of mine. And, that word that Coke was going around and I'm like, yo, you can give me some of that? And he was like, yeah. His brother used to leave it in the crib. And he used to steal from his brother. He used to steal. So he gave me something one time, and, I brought it back to AZ at the cleaners, and I was like, yo, I told you I can, get some of this, man. And he was like, what? I showed him what I had, and he poured it on his hand, looked at it, licked it. It was like, man, you a funny little dude. He's like, this is good, too. You say you could get some of that? I'm like, yeah. So I go back to school the next day, talked to a little homie, said his brother caught him, beat the shit out of him. So that ended that. So couldn't get nothing from him no more. And that kind of like went on. So, I just was living my daily life till I went to high school. Right. Get in high school, I went to Adolph Philip Randolph at City College. It's the high school connected to City College. Right. So, as around that time, AZ graduated and started getting a lot of money. He started opening up our building and had dudes working for him in the building. And as I'm watching this process happen, I'm just seeing people coming in the building, buying coke. The line just started getting longer like a cheese line in real life, to the point where it was doing at least 60,000 a day. To my
the line be crazy. Back in the days, the lines used to be out of control.
That's a fact. And I don't know what happened, and he learned the game. The game was like, I think $30, $40 a bottle. Don't quote me on it. At that time, I was young. But he found out a system to do them for half of that and then actually break the bottles down and do half of that. And it was killing everybody else's prices. And that's what turned his quantity up as far as getting money. And he moved down the hill to a store called the Jukebox. And when he moved down the hill to the Jukebox, this is when it was all the way out of control. Like if they run out, people would sit out there and wait for hours just because he had to sit. He couldn't even bottle up that much, even paying dudes to come help him bottle up. But when they come, they run out instantly, fast, quick. Wow. Like you would do $1,000 in like a couple minutes easily. So, at that time, I still wasn't a part of that movement. When I got a little older, I started hanging around the game room and forced myself on him to let me, do some work with him. Yeah. And I eventually ended up controlling some of the game room as far as keeping the work inside of the video games. Next door, they had a spot where they sell the work. The game room was where we kept the drugs and the money. So when they finish, I'll grab some more, give them the drugs, take the money, put it back in the game. He'll come through, pick the money up, or he'll tell somebody to come bring it to him. So that's when I started my journey with that. But I never really got in trouble for hustling. My first bid not my first bid, my first time ever getting in trouble and going to see Rikers Island was for fighting, pistol whipping somebody for bothering my brother. Some dudes jumped on my brother, and we actually I caught the dude sitting on the steps, and we was about to go play basketball. My brother pointed the dude out. So I see the dude, and we used to be on Blimpies, 145th and St. Nicholas, if anybody familiar with that, when Blimpies, the sandwich shop, was popular back then.
Right.
Like Subways are now,
Yeah.
but it was Blimpies. So I see the dude cross the street. He lived in the building with my homeboy. So I told my brother to come on, let me see what's going on. He go over there with me, and I asked him what's going on with him and my brother, and he said what he said, talked slick, so, popped that head, was smacking the head with the pistol and all that. Think nothing of it. When you're young, you do little stuff like that, because we was known for, we not no bullies. If you bother us, then we going to go handle our business.
Right.
That's what that was all about. And one of my other friends' name is Bo D. He owned a beauty, they sell hair now, flamboyant hair, and proud of him too, because he came from the trenches as well. But we was all together right there. Long story short, we was about to play basketball one day, and everybody was going to change their clothes and put their sneakers on and get their shorts and everything. And next thing I know, police come right on the corner, jumping out on us. And I see a kid in the back, couldn't see him. They had the window halfway cracked down, and he pointed my brother out, me, and my homeboy Bo D. And they lock us up. We go downtown. We sit in the Central Booking waiting. But my brother and them, they had went to Spofford because they was 15.
Yeah, they was minors.
Right. I made I was over the limit where I'm going to Rikers at this time. So I go to Rikers. That was my first time ever hitting Rikers. But I went into not the population area, but where they have when you come into receiving, Queens, Brooklyn, and all that. So I sat there and waited, but I got bailed out. Okay. So I beat that case because homie never came to court.
Okay.
So that was my first time ever really seeing Rikers, and I never really went back to Rikers. But
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it's. I mean, I don't want to sit here and hate that you went back to Rikers Island 20 times.
Nah, not at all.
So you only went Rikers Island one time.
One time.
Got spooked and never came back.
It was what it was. You know what I'm saying? I heard stories about it, and I know, how to handle myself. And I still, they was robbing you right there in the receiving room.
Yeah, of course.
Niggas trying sneakers on and all that right there. You know what I'm saying? But I was already prepared for whatever that was. But got out of jail, started making my own moves, hustling and all that. So I'm gonna skip over the story a little bit. My story continue as I probably got older, about 19. My brother found the spot on 142nd Street between Broadway and Hamilton Place. And it was a spot where not a tenement, it was a tenement, but slash where it could have been brownstone-ish, but went in there, found out about it. He told me I had the spot in my building as well. AZ and them was down the hill. I learned the game from A, how to open up in my building. Right. And selling crack at the time. That's when cracks was $3 and $4 and $5 and all that. So I opened up the spot, 723 St. Nicholas, was doing my thing. There was a few other cats out there. My brother found the spot where we can have on our own, which is up the hill. So we went up there, some crackheads that lived in the building, and we we went in there and talked to them and told them, what would y'all charge us to let us use your apartments? And they gave us a price. I opened up in one of them, started $2 crack. Okay. I'm actually getting ready to do a documentary about it called The King of Deuces. Because at this time, it was some cats on the street over that was doing some bottles, some $2 bottles, and they was getting a lot of money. So once I opened up, I went out there and just gave out about 100 samples. Got me a crackhead, 2 of them, go tell them we giving samples out. They was coming from everywhere, giving them samples. After that, we never looked back. We was killing them in that building, killing them. And I started getting other apartments in that building. Some to hide the guns, some to hide the work, and the other one where we doing the distribution out of.
Right.
It was me, my brother B-Pipe. Then I had a few of my other little homies from 148th that I put down. And, you know, they helped me build that operation. And it turned out we was getting probably about 10,000 a day selling $2 crack. Unheard of.
Wow.
In Harlem. Unheard of. And it was 24 hours. Never go to sleep. So I used to be up all night bottling up, have my daughter's mother bottling up all night. And if I can get some of the young boys, at times I pay them to bottle up all night because I was tired. Yeah. But we had a good operation. But that didn't last for so long, so they started kicking the doors in. The police, once they hear about your joint jumping, they started kicking the doors in, so I had to leave. I had to leave from there, and I found out about a spot up in Kingston, New York. Went to Kingston, New York, and I bought about 5 or 6 of my dudes up there. A lot of people know about Kingston. There's still people probably running back and forth up there to Kingston now, which I would tell them, nah, but, people going to chase the money. And
yeah, they ain't going to listen.
Not at all. So I get up to Kingston, New York, and I put 4 or 5 dudes out there. We had a little trouble with the guys that worked from up there, that lived up there, got guns pulled in my face, and, it was about to start a war, and I ran into a guy that I know that everybody familiar with. His name is Pistol Pete. Himself, Sex Money. This was before he was Sex Money Murder, any of that. And me and him got tight. Him and his homeboys, shout out to them, Chuck, Beans, Bimo, few dudes, man, that was up there. But we all used to play dice together, be out there getting money and, things of that nature. And I opened up a store up there, a game room. Once again, all the hood started coming to my store in Kingston. And the police started hearing about me. And the guy who had the store, the guy whose name I put the store in, he was a good dude. I thought he was a good dude. I looked out for him. I didn't know he was getting high on the low. He was sniffing heroin. And while he's doing this heroin situation, I'm thinking, I'm helping him get the store. I turned it into like a store where you can get gift baskets, play the video games, play pool. Everybody was in there doing that, put candy in there. I was opening it up for the hood. Never sold drugs out of there, nothing.
Right.
Never let that happen. So one particular time, it's Christmas time, we all breaking out to go home and see our families. Homie's still up there. His name was JR. So he's still up there because he was from there. So we leave, go home. Christmas time over, we on our way back up there. I didn't know he got busted by the police. Police busted him. He told him about me and our operation, my house, everything.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. We get up there, go into the crib. We just chilling, thinking nothing of it. Had work up in the house, had it stashed up in certain places and all that. And next thing I know, I get a knock at the door. It was the cable man. So I'm thinking, the cable man was a part of it, what was going on, but he wasn't. Later on, as I opened the door and I see the cable man, came to get the payment. I see the police walking, creeping with the guns coming from, out of their cars, walking, creeping. Then the back door busts open, boom. Next thing I know, bro, all hell break loose. They threw me back in the crib. As they rushing inside the house, I'm squinching over. They grabbed me, threw me on the ground. I see some drugs come flying out the window because it was a low window. I was on a porch. There's a window right here, and the drugs come out the window. So I'm trying to move from the drugs, but they wouldn't let me move away from the drugs. Long story short, we go to court, 7 of us. We was in the newspaper, so this was in 1991, going into 92 when this happened. So it's documented. 7 of us up there in the news for a big drug bust. I never seen a warrant, never knew nothing. Back then we was young. We didn't know you need to fight things on warrants, all of the above. But just so happened, one of my little homies was thorough. Told him, that was his. It was in his room. He owned up to it, and they had to let us go. They let us go. They, in court, they try to take them in the back and tell them in the judge chambers and tell them, you're going to get this type of time. You're going to get this type of time. Try to make them don't take, the weight and say that it was his. Leave it as that because they pinpointed me. So he come back out crying, was like saying to me on the side, yeah, they about to let y'all go. They tried to tell me to say, not to say it was his. And he was like, but, I told him I owned up to it. And so the judge had to let us leave. Got out of that situation, and I'm like, yo, I couldn't leave my little homie, so I had about $10,000 left. I took my last $10,000 and paid a lawyer for him. And I was back out there in them streets selling hand-to-hand myself to make sure he had commissary and all that, and was still trying to get myself back on top. You know what I'm saying? Just being a real dude. So, long story short, he went to he copped out and got probation. The lawyer got a probation. He got out of that situation. The police caught me and my homies coming up on the bus. Normally, you would go to the bus station, but the bus used to let us tell them, yo, we can get out right here, and he'll let us off here. Somebody tipped the police off that people was getting off there. So when we got off the bus, they jumped out on us.
They was ready.
Ready. Two of my other homies. They was dirty, but they didn't find nothing on them until we got back to the police station. When the police, when they
research you again.
They research you, and then they'll lift the back of the chair up. They found his work. They take him in the back and say, yo, just say it was Boosie's and we going to let you go. My homeboy Thorough, that never happened. He ended up catching the bid. They ended up letting us go, and I knew Kingston, New York. It was a wrap for Kingston at that time. And I ended up taking, what I was doing down to VA. And that's when I caught my major bid, going down to VA, to Newport News, Virginia.
Wow. VA is dangerous.
Yeah, very, very. But it was a setup. Remember how Jersey used to pull everybody over on the turnpike back in the days?
They pull it,
They learned that movement in Salisbury, Maryland. So before you get from Salisbury, that's the VA line right there. Salisbury, Maryland, VA. Before you get to cross that line, they sitting there waiting. They was talking to black people, Spanish people. And they targeted us and pulled us over. You know what I'm saying? And when they pulled us over, one of my guys was driving. My guy that's out there now, he was my co-defendant as well. They pulled us over. They was asking him, can they search? They asked you to fill out a form to search. He filled the form out, and which he shouldn't have. Searched the shit, searched the vehicle, found drugs, and took us down. And my homie, he was like woofing with them on the side of the road, and they kept telling him, yo, you better shut up for be another Rodney King beating out here on the side of the road. Nah.
Jersey's dangerous, man.
Yeah, but
and Virginia, dangerous too.
Yeah,
all that.
Maryland
Jersey,
too.
man, all them places like that.
And they base their laws
you don't want to get stopped.
Off of federal laws anyway.
Yeah.
But this particular time, and we doing a movie about that, it was Route 13. So that Route 13 was known for being safe to drive. And as me being new up and down that highway, my cousin and them wasn't. They was veterans, and that's the way they took. So that's the way I took. And I got caught up in that sting. And a lot of other people got caught up in that sting later on. Y'all, you remember Mark 125? The dude, Blue, had the jewelry store there. He was the first Jacob in Harlem. First Jacob, black young guy selling jewelry and all that. But he's very well known. A lot of people mess with him. Puff, all of them mess with him. All the big rappers. Anyway, his sister got caught up in there. They found 15 birds with some dude, though. I guess she was with a dude. They found the stash in the joint of Maxima. It was crazy. But those charges, I was facing 60 years.
Damn.
Facing 60 years at that time. And, me and my homies went in there. They didn't question my other dude because he was woofing with them on the highway. Me and my guy right there, they took him in one room, took me in another room, told him, yo, he's telling on you, so you better tell us this. He said they told him the same thing, but we know the game. The police separate you. I'm telling them I don't care what they told you.
They was doing that shit what they be doing on that TV channel huh? Yeah, First 48.
Yeah, facts.
He's
facts.
wild.
Facts.
So
this was back then. Yeah. So, you know, me and him ain't fall for it. I come back in the cell. They mad at me. They tell me, yo, well, you know, we've been getting 20 years. You know, they said, well, the charges you facing 60 years. The less we've been, you know, the least we've been getting out of people is 20 years. If you could talk to me and help me out with something, you know, I can, you know, help you help yourself. And I'm like, man, I don't know nothing. The only thing I know is I was getting a ride to VA. They said that, well, your friend in there said that the drugs in there was yours. I said, I don't care what he told you, what was his, what was mine. I don't know nothing about nothing. So they got mad at me, made me go back to the cell. I get back into the cell. He was in there. He was like, yo, you told him that the drugs was mine? I said, why would I do that? You know, he was like, nah, I just had to ask, man. He said, they said the same to me. So they tried to run the game on us. Long story short, we went and took it to trial. I had $1 million bail. Unique Mecca Audio, which was your guy, you know, that came in here. You did an interview with him. That was my, like a big brother, you know what I'm saying? So I had my brothers go look for him and find him. Find him, bring him to my mom's crib, get on the phone, talk to him, and he was going to bail me out on the $1 million bail. He said, I got you. Don't even worry about it. Days go by. No Unique, no phone call, no nothing. I'm calling my mom. You ain't heard nothing from her? She's like, nah, baby, and the phone going to voicemail now. I'm like, wow, that's crazy, man. It's crazy. So a dude that I seen him coming through, and they brought him into my part. And I'm talking to him, chopping it up with him. He was like, yo, you know, we talking, conversing and all that. And then he said, yo, that's crazy what happened to your boy Unique. I'm like, what happened to him? He was like, man, the feds jumped out on him. He's locked. And I was like, no wonder he ain't come get me. Wow. And I'm like, this going to be home for a minute till this case is over. Yeah. And that's how I looked at it. And I went and fought for a whole year in there. And when we took it to trial, we took a judge trial, which we shouldn't have never had. And we had one of the worst judges in there named Judge Simpson. And a lady named, the first lawyer I hired robbed me for $4,000. I gave her $4,000 to start the case. She didn't stop answering the phone. And I hired another lawyer, which was David Moore, which was considered a good lawyer there. And he was, him and the DA had a thing going with the DA, and the judge didn't like people that sold drugs because his kid overdosed over drugs. So he shouldn't have never been on the case anyway.
So you was fucked right there.
All the way around the board.
Hell yeah.
When the lawyer came to see me, he said, welcome to the little town of Mayberry. They don't play around here. So he put that in my mental. So I'm like, I'm still going to trial. So me and my co-defendants, we went to trial. We blew. Took us back, came back for sentencing. They gave us 5. I got the 5. I did my 5. I came home in 1995. Came home in 95. And that's when my saga began with me getting into the music industry. I already was starting.
Okay.
Before I went to jail, I had rap songs with my brother Kevin Frost, my other brother Ronnie Stone, which is Kurt Frost's brother from Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
We was doing music, and when I came home, he was still locked up, so I continued what I was doing with them. I just took the songs and revamped them and put them out back then. We was called the Young Guns of Harlem.
Okay.
Facts.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So you've been home since. Just what you been doing, man?
So since then, I was maneuvering that. I was pushing, just, you know, pushing the music thing, me as a rapper. So after I started pushing the things as a rapper, I wanted to see what I could do to make myself expand. So I was between here and North Carolina. So what I started doing, that's when Big L was alive. That's my brother. McGruff was a friend of mine that I grew up with as well. So I put Gruff on a few songs with me, and he was like, yo, I can get Big L. I'm like, word, you can get Big L? He was like, yeah. So I'm like, wow. So he brought Big L around. Big L charged me for the low. We went and did a single, which is still floating around on the internet. I don't know who put it out there, but whoever put it out there, I got my lawyers on it now because I'm sure they made some money from it. I got to get that check.
Hell yeah.
The song is called Harlem NYC. AZ, his little brother name is Wayne Bull. God bless the dead, did the track. So it's me, Big L, McGruff, and one of my boys named Digger. And shout out to Digger. He's fighting for his life right now. He just got shot in his leg 2 weeks ago, but I'm hearing he's recovering. Hoping he's gonna be all right.
Okay.
But he's on the song. I don't want two brothers to be on the song that passed away. But Big L did the song for me, so I put the song out. I put it out with Die Hard Records with my boy Nat, and it was doing good. It was selling overseas, and things of that nature. So I'm like, yo, I tell Big L, yo, man, being that you ain't really doing nothing right now, yo, I'm gonna need you. Let's run through North Carolina and do a tour. And he was like, I ain't with it. So I put $100,000 up. And I started touring, me, Big L, McGruff, and I had my whole team that was with me. We started touring. I was calling Mace up. I was supposed to got a song with Mace, but we couldn't line our schedules up. But we never really got to it to do that. But Mace's sister, which is his twin in Stace, she eventually got with me, and we started bringing her down south. So I started creating something big. I started creating a roar when Big L was coming down there, and his name started buzzing back once again.
You never look back as far as jail.
Never look back as far as jail is concerned. Never.
And you been on home how long?
31 years.
That's a blessing, man.
31 years. Caught a DWI here and there.
Yeah,
but
okay.
not no real jail.
As long as you keep catching them.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
So, and so once I got Stace involved, we started working on her craft, and then Michael Bivens and all them, Mace gave her the blessing. Yeah, roll down there with Boots, because I know Mace when he was young, before he was signed, always was a good dude, always looked out, you know what I'm saying? But, so yeah, I never really looked back on that as far as going to jail, because I tried to keep myself busy with doing stuff, and I had a distribution, so.
Yeah, you had some dreams you wanted to fulfill, you wanted to move
fact.
forward.
That's a fact.
That's what we keep telling these brothers that's on the island right now. We just went last week. I went in there with Joe and talked to the young brothers out there, young men. And,
nice.
And that's what we tell them, like, it don't stop. You know what I mean? You could turn around right at this point and go back and say, you know what? Let me make this the last time I ever come to this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And make that effort to make a change.
That's a fact.
And I know it's hard to make changes sometimes, especially, where we brought up at, it's like, it feels like we don't have much but we have a lot.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Back in the days, I could say we didn't have much.
Right.
Now, you have a lot of options, there's a lot of jobs out there, a lot of opportunity for the young brothers out there. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of ways, man. You just gotta catch what your passion is. You gotta look at what you want to work on, what you always thought of, and run with it.
Facts. And social media is big, so you can make money selling anything on social media.
Absolutely.
And as I was doing my bid, I watched guys in there. I always tell people this. I watch guys in there make cards for other people to send home to their girls. I watch guys do tattoos in there. They'll take a paper clip, unfold it, and back then it was they took Walkman batteries out, connected to the Walkman, sharpened the needle, had some ink snuck into the gel, and did tattoos inside of there. So if you can create tattoo guns and think creative like that, when you get out, you can think creative.
You could do all kinds of stuff, man.
That's a fact.
You could do shit. You could do that in jail. It's true, because a lot of brothers, they do all kind of machines.
That's a fact.
Tattoo machines, this, that.
I watch them.
Speakers, this, that.
That's a fact.
I be like, shit, you should have did that in town.
In the street. I watch them take a comb, a regular comb, take the blades out of the blades, the girls, them little big joints they cut their hairs with. They take the blade out, connect it to the comb, take a string tied around there, and cut your hair. And then sharpen it up with the razor. You look like you was in a barber chair, bro.
Incredible. Nah, I didn't see that. They cut do fades with the razors.
Facts.
All that.
And I'm saying that to say, if we could think like that in there, we could think like that when we get out here. You know what I'm saying? But when we get out here, so much going on, we don't want to think like that.
Yeah.
And I can get into some things on that part. So as I'm moving along, right, with my music thing, so AZ, before I went to jail, he had wrote the Paid in Full, but it was called Trapped. And it was a Jesus cross with Jesus on it. That was the logo of it. But when I came home, he had sold it to Damon Dash by then, and they changed the name to Paid in Full. So they really brought me in to do consulting work because my homeboy name is Jay Black. Him and Dame Dash is like this, and me and Jay Black is like this. I didn't know Dame at the time, but I was seeing him, you know, as growing up here and there. But we shot the movie in Canada, so he got over there in Canada, and they needed people that was around Rich Porter, AZ, and all them. So I grew up with all of them. Those are like my big brothers. So they wanted me to show the actors certain movement that they would make, like Rich Porter with Mekhi Phifer doing certain scenes, that crying scene. He was sitting straight up. I had to tell him, cut. Charles Stone, he the one that did Drumline. He did a few things, director, but he let us kind of control the set. Dame left, went to L.A., was like, let my boy Jay Black control everything with Charles Stone. So I was over there doing consulting work. And, you know, my scene in the Pay the Fool with Cameron when they snatched the chain and he said, you shining now, B, that's me. That's my scene in the Pay the Fool joint. So they flew me over there for that. That scene got popular. To this day, I be walking around everywhere. People see me, oh, ain't you the one in the Pay the Fool movie? Just that one scene is real popular. You know what I'm saying? So I feeds off of that. I book shows now. I do 90s parties, the Pay the Fool 90 parties, hosted by me. I don't cost as much as Cameron or Mekhi Phifer. So you can use me, well-known face from the movie.
Absolutely.
So I
running with it.
Yes, sir.
Make it happen.
I'm running with that.
You got to run with it.
So I'm saying that to say, when you going out there speaking to them cats, you told them a good jewel. It's not over because y'all in here. Think about what you're going to do when you get out of there.
Absolutely.
And stick to it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's powerful right there because that's all I've been fighting for now. That's what my podcast is about, Street Knowledge Podcast. And I talk to the youth. I give them the stories when we was out there in the streets. Like the story I gave you was just kind of brief. You know what I'm saying? So people could feel.
Absolutely.
But I give them some of these outpost stories and the Rich Porter stories and what we went through or where we could have lost our life. And then I hit them with the ending. This is why you don't need to hustle if you think that you can't handle it, because either you could lose your life or you're going to go to jail. And if you go to jail, you got to handle your time. If not, you can't be out here snitching, sending another brother or another lady away from their family so you can come out here and be with yours. It's just not right, man. And that's the things that I preach on my joint and, stir people in the right way. Every Sunday I go out, feed the homeless. I do that on the regular.
That's a blessing, man.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
That's a blessing.
Longest, so
that's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
I love what you do, man. Shit. Fellas are telling me, Big Bootsie, man, he been doing a lot of things out there and all that. I said,
that's a fact.
We definitely need to get him up on the show and all that, man. So we can inspire. You can inspire any young brother out there that just came from the hood, and you know what I'm saying, they can see, how you managed to, go to jail, learn your lesson and shit and grow. You know what I'm saying, and never look back. You know what I'm saying?
I kept myself busy, and I got 2 movies on Tubi. One is called 17 Days. I did work with my boy who wrote the movie, help assist him get it done. EMG is his partner. They work with 5 mics, and 17 Days is the domestic violence film. Joanna Man is in there, Miguel Nunez, Omar Gooden from Baby Boy.
Okay.
And this film teaches the women about, my boy Mark Scheich played the guy. When a woman meet a man and fall in love with him, but he shows his good sides. Once he know he got her locked in, he start beating on her. And a lot of women is going through it out there and scared to tell and talk about it. Mm-hmm. So we put this film out there for a positive note to teach these women, don't let that break you. Get up out of that realm.
Mm-hmm. You don't need to put up with that shit.
That's a fact. So that's one film, and then I'm partnered with my boy. His name is Mike Anderson, and the movie's called A Polished Soul. It's on Tubi right now as we speak, both of them. And this is a story. I'm going to bring him up here, too. It'd be a good interview with him. He could tell you better. But he was locked up. He had life. I mean, he had the death penalty, and because of some murders that went on. And he had to take life. He had to cop out to life so he don't get the death penalty. They gave him 17 years. He did 17 years. He learned how to write, got his diploma in there, learned how to write scripts. He wrote the script and wrote this actual movie I'm telling you about. It's about his life. And it's showing the young cats don't do what I did inside
We
of
need
the
to get
school.
them up here, man.
That's a fact.
That'll be a blessing, man.
That's a fact.
I mean, the platform is here. We're here for
Fact.
you.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Anything else you want to let people know as far as what you're working on and all that, Boosie, before we get up out of here?
What I'm working on now, I got a new liquor. Well, I actually been working with the liquor. It's called Kalaka. It's the world's first dark vodka. And I'm about to drop that. Y'all stay looking for that because the taste is crazy. So I'm working on a big distribution deal with that through Miguel Nunez, which is the Joanna man I spoke about.
I mean, just make sure you come up here and bring us a bottle, man, so we can promote it. We can
I'm-
keep it up here.
I'm definitely gonna bring that. I got to bring that up here, man, because it's a big respect that y'all brought me up here. But I do want to break one thing down before we leave, because these kids don't understand this.
Yeah, break it
They
down.
don't understand the constitutional law. So in business, I mean in college world, they want us to pay for the kids to go to college to learn the justice system. I respect that. I get it. But some of them cats that are lawyers out there need to do something for the kids and teach them constitutional rights. So these police, when they approach our kids in the streets, they'll know how to tell them, I don't have to speak to you. I plead my Fifth Amendment right. If they get pulled over in the car, somebody's driving, they got to talk to the driver. The passenger don't have to show ID or nothing. And it's legal. Now, if they force you out the car and they tell you, well, we're going to send you to jail. We're going to take you to jail if you don't show ID. You ask them, so you telling me that you're going to send me to jail if I don't show ID. That already is a lawsuit. So we need these lawyers out here to teach just the first, fifth, all the way up to at least the Fifth Amendment, so they'll know how to not argue with the police, because they're not going to stop once they're going to cuff you. So arguing and fighting and kicking and all that, and then it leads up to them taser or either shooting and killing them. That's killing our kids, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. And
we're going to work on something like that. We're going to work on bringing that kind of message up here in between our episodes and stuff like that, where we have people, breaking the constitutionals as far as shit like that. The young brothers, I think, will be aware of what the rights are.
that's a fact. That's a fact. And
work on that.
So, with me, right, last May, I gets caught up into somebody else's problem. But they actually tried to pull me into something that I had nothing to do with. They ran up in my house with an illegal warrant, threw bombs in there, all of the above, a no-knock warrant. I never had gun charges in my life, nothing. They're never supposed to do that. Violated my Fourth Amendment right. And now get out on a $100,000 bail. They tried to railroad me, tried to make me go off a failure to appear so they could put me back in jail, but I've been on my case left and right. I be up at the courthouse like I work in there. And I'm only saying that to say to these cats out here too, when you are in trouble and you know you didn't do nothing wrong, make sure you stay on your case. Don't sit back and wait for a lawyer to do it. I don't care how much money you pay a lawyer and all that.
That's what I keep saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Got to do your job yourself too.
That's a fact. And I
Can't let them niggas do your job for you.
I got a big lawsuit out on them right now, and it's not a game. So that's why I just wanted to make that point. You know what I'm saying? With what you got going on up here.
Absolutely.
And bring that, man. So,
Boost, man, it was a pleasure having you, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Saying facts.
That's a fact.
Appreciate you, man. You already know it's your boy Pistol Pete, dog in the yard.
Let's go.
What up, what up? Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. I want to first and foremost thank Big Bootsie for coming through. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? I see you. I see the direction you going. I mean, all I can do is, man, tell you, man, just keep doing your thing, man. Keep inspiring these brothers out there. Keep doing your thing, man. You already know your boy Pistol Pete, dog in the yard.
On today's segment of Know Your Rights, we're talking about criminal appeals. If you've been convicted of a crime, it's essential to know that conviction isn't necessarily the end of the road. You may have the right to appeal, but what does that really mean? A criminal appeal is the legal process where a defendant who has been convicted of a crime asks a higher court to review the decision made by the trial court. The goal is to determine if any legal errors occurred during the trial that may have affected the outcome of the case. The key thing to understand is that an appeal is not a new trial. You won't be presenting new evidence or calling witnesses. Instead, the appellate court reviews what happened during your trial to see if the law was applied correctly. This includes reviewing the trial transcript, legal briefs, and arguments from both sides. But what exactly can be appealed? You can challenge things like legal errors. This would be something like where the judge gave incorrect instructions to the jury or if certain evidence should not have been admitted at trial. You can appeal insufficient evidence if you believe that the evidence presented at trial was not actually enough to support a guilty verdict. You can also appeal sentencing issues if you believe the sentence handed down was illegal or unfair based on the circumstances. And these are just a few. But not everything can be appealed. You generally cannot appeal simply because you disagree with the verdict. The appellate court is looking for specific errors in how the law was applied, not reevaluating the facts of the case. In possible outcomes, the appellate court might affirm the conviction, meaning they agree with the trial court's decision. They reverse the conviction, which could result in a new trial or dismissal of the charges. Remand the case back to trial court for further proceedings, often with instructions on how to correct the errors made during the trial, or a mixture thereof. There are a few things to keep in mind. Time is critical. Appeals have to be filed within a strict time frame, so it's important to act quickly. They are not automatic. You have to request it. And they are limited in scope. The appeal is only intended to address legal errors. It is not a second chance to argue facts. That's it for today's segment. Stay informed. Know your rights.